Yo, welcome to Hard Pass. I am your host, Jacques Slade. Today on the show, we're talking about Kanye's latest endeavor, Tom Sachs winning the day again, this week's latest releases, and of course, this week's Hard Pass. All right, let's start with the hot takes, folks. During an interview with Nice Kicks, Tinker Hatfield said that he would like to design a sneaker for PJ Tucker. Okay, I know that's an amazing honor. Like, to be able to say that your shoes were designed by the same mind that gave us the Air Jordan 3 is like the pinnacle of sneakerdom. But think about it. Could you wear any other shoes ever again? If I was PJ, I would look at my sneaker closet, warehouse, airport hanger, and feel enormous guilt if I wore something that wasn't the sneaker that Tinker Hatfield designed just for me? Nah. Congrats to the friend of the program, Anna Melissa. Her viral tweet about her mom mistaking a pair of Jordan 1 lows for Wingstop sneakers has led to the Fast Wing chain to work with other friend of the program, Shoe Surgeon, on custom lemon pepper ones. If anybody at Jollibee is listening, I will gladly tweet a goofy observation about a sneaker that looks like their iconic B if it means that we get Chicken Joy J's. Phil Knight has reportedly made a serious offer to buy the Portland Trail Blazers. Must be nice. While the team has confirmed an offer was made, they are not currently for sale. That could change with a higher and more aggressive offer, of course, but man, Phil Knight owning a team could lead to everybody's favorite kind of drama, rich people shit. And by favorite, I mean mind-numbingly annoying and pointless. But you already knew that. Like, I've heard talk about Portland having an unfair advantage if this deal happens. Sure, it makes going to Nike meetings a lot easier. Ask Dame Lillard how easy it's been for him to get a hold of people at Adidas. But if the swoosh meant anything, then wouldn't Charlotte be a hot free agent destination? Jason Petrie has LeBron on speed dial. It's not that hard. This isn't like a college where you're getting exclusive Jordan PEs in North Carolina or Michigan colors and it means something to a teenager. When you're in the NBA, you can just afford to buy those PEs. See, PJ Tucker wearing Oklahoma 6s even though he went to Texas. Wrestling Twitter lost their damn mind over the weekend because of a work. Or was it a shoot that became a work? Maybe it was a work that people thought was a shoot, so they worked it to look like a shoot. But now people are confused again because they are working it like it's a shoot, and only two people in the world know if they're actually still working or they're shooting against each other. I swear that whole bit made sense. Trust me, Mark. I mean, brother. Anyways, shout out to the legend William Regal for saying the thing. You know, the thing. That thing that he says at the top of his lungs with venom and vitriol unlike anybody else on this planet.
You know what? Mr. Regal, let them know where I want to fight them. Blood and guts.
That was good. That was good. But it just doesn't have the same ring to it. Here, let me fix it.
You know what? Mr. Regal, let them know where I want to fight them. War Games! Whoa.
Yeah, much better. Okay, so Jaylen Brown is making headlines this week. Not only is the Boston Celtics star putting up numbers in the NBA Finals, he also became the first NBA player to sign with Kanye West's Donda Sports. Founded earlier this year, the new agency now has Brown and Super Bowl champion Aaron Donald on its roster. I'll admit that I don't know the ins and outs of sports management because I'm not an athlete despite what Nike's commercials tell me. Call me crazy, but I think I won't be on that I Am an Athlete podcast anytime soon. Donda having one of the best players, if not the best player in the NFL and a rising star who's in the NBA Finals is not nothing. When their headlines prior to this week included Antonio Brown apparently becoming president of the agency, this was much needed good publicity. Anyways, West is reportedly very high on Brown and sees him as someone who could be a superhero throughout his entire career and even after his playing days are done. Looks like Ye sees a great deal of potential in Brown, not just on the court, but as a commercial spokesperson and social activist. Now you can see how those two things might clash, but that's probably why Brown decided to sign with Donda. Their job will be to seek out companies and causes whose values align with Brown's. I could see him being signed up with brands that we might think are unconventional, but that's the point. Ideally, Donda will not put Brown in a situation where he has to make questionable statements defending brands that he represents. LeBron. As you would expect, this news has already fired up the hot take machine, with NBA Twitter and Ye Twitter all having something to say. Jaylen Brown fans, they've been split on the news, wondering what this could mean for their fave as he embarks on this new journey with someone as polarizing as Ye. Boston Celtics are, well, Boston Celtics fans. I'm sure the discourse there will be perfectly normal and not at all eyebrow-raising, especially if Brown struggles during the rest of the finals. Sports fans are wondering how soon Donda folds just because they're a bunch of hating-ass haters, while Ye stands are already thinking Donda has surpassed CAA, Wasserman, and Clutch Sports with this signing. Lots of real, let's say mature, nuanced discussion, guys. You got keep it up. Look, this news could be absolutely game-changing for Jaylen Brown, especially in the sneaker world. Yes, he's one of the brightest young stars in the NBA right now, but you're not checking for him like you are his teammates Jason Tatum. He's somebody you would think is racking up all-star appearances, and yet he only has one. I'm sure any sneaker brand would love to sign his services, but right now he's not somebody who you would put in the front of the line. Like, he ain't getting the signature shoe over Ja Morant at Nike. The Jordan Tatum 1s are on the way, and he never even sniffed one while he was at Adidas. He's been teasing partnerships with New Balance and Puma, but they already have headliners like Kawhi Leonard and LaMelo Ball, respectively. Under Armour, they could be a potential landing spot with Curry Brand making the UA logo smaller and smaller as the years go on, and Joel Embiid still wearing the Embiid 1 after 2 seasons. A Chinese brand like Li Ning or Fanta, shout out to Shady McCoy, that's still funny 2 weeks later, could also be in the mix, but like Under Armour, the perception of Brown would change overnight, and I don't know that it's positive. As a totally qualified sports and sneaker prognosticator who has no idea what he's talking about but acts like he does, I could see Brown going one of two ways. He starts his own sneaker brand, a la fellow NBA player Langston Galloway, and builds up the name through sponsorships of AAU teams, targeted social media blasts, and of course, the occasional Ye favor where he wears the JB1s at a high-profile event. The second, he returns to Adidas, but as the first signature exclusive Yeezy athlete. No pregame Ultra Boost, no Gucci Gazelles on tonal walks, head-to-toe Yeezy. From the puffy Balenciaga and Gap jackets to the Celtics-colored Quantums. Look, the Ye Association is already rubbing a lot of people the wrong way, but I think Jaylen is a smart man who knows what he's signing up for. He's not some delusional fanboy who fawns at the sight of Kanye West. He will exploit his relationship with Kanye for his benefit, not the other way around. And if Ye goes on and does something Brown doesn't feel is right, I wouldn't be surprised to see him bounce. So let's see this one play out. Let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. All right, it's time for the Heat Check, where we bring you everything that's dropping this week. We have the Casina Nike Air Max 1 Wan Ang on the 8th for $160, the Air Jordan 4 Zen Master on the 9th for $210, the Hello Kitty Nike Presto sneakers release on June 10th for $140, Mark Gonzalez Adidas Ultra Boost on the 11th for $180, and then for the Yeezy of the week, it's the Adidas Yeezy Foam Runner Onyx. This is going to be on the 8th for $80. Okay, so we've done the Pokemon and Sticky Fingers old group. Ye sure does love Onyx flavored sneakers. According to the Gem Society, Onyx has acquired a somewhat sinister reputation. In fact, Onyx symbolism is replete with connections to bad luck. In Arabic, black onyx is known as El Jaza, which means sadness. In China, nobody would willingly touch or own this gem for fear of bad dreams, misfortune, and loss of energy. And then, for our pick of the week, it's the Tom Sachs Nike General Purpose shoe on the 10th for $110. Okay, so let's do a heat check on these because, I'm gonna be honest, I have thoughts. Through their marketing, Sachs and Nike claim it took them 10 years to make a shoe this boring. And they are right. These shoes are boring and uninspired. The most glowing compliment that I can give these shoes is that they are competent. These competent shoes should be available everywhere, from Foot Locker to Kohl's to WSS to Walmart, and go on clearance the day after they drop because no one would think twice about buying these. But we all know that's not how this game is played. Sachs' first outing with Nike as part of his space program Mars exhibit went on to become one of the most sought after non-Jordan retro, non-Yeezy sneakers of the past decade. The Mars Yard 1.0 got you a quirky, simple look in an era that was dominated by colorful retros, Flyknits, Kobe's, and LeBrons. By the time we got to the Mars Yard 2.0 in 2017, the legend had already grown, and now both pairs are tough to find and even tougher on the wallet. Trust me, I've been looking. So yes, despite being basic as hell, the Sachs GPS kicks will be anything but general. These will be limited. These will sell out. These will command a premium in the resale market. Resellers who got early pairs are already pricing them in the 4 digits. Sneakerheads who admire Sachs' work will balk at not being able to get a pair. Media outlets will gush about them, claiming that Sachs and Nike are playing 4D chess and that we simpletons just don't get it, man. No, I get it. I get all of it. Well played, Tom. Well played, Nike. You've made simple a rare commodity. Kill shots are still better and way cheaper anyways. All right, it's time for this week's Hard Pass, where we take a look at something in the culture that just needs to go. Like my take on Star Wars, more specifically, the place of a specific era of Star Wars in the culture. That's right, we're talking about the prequel trilogy. And you know what? I was wrong. Consider this a mea culpa. Yes, I was once one of those nerds who treated the prequel films with the same respect that sneakerheads have for the Air Jordans past 14. Back then, I wasn't mad at the prequels per se, but I was disappointed, which is worse, or so my friends told me their parents told them all the time. I never got any of that because my parents loved me because I was a good Jedi youngling. Anyways, I still remember the hype train for The Phantom Menace. That teaser poster with young Anakin Skywalker with the shadow of Darth Vader foreshadowing the journey we were about to take? I was sold, man. I was ready to throw all my allowance at George Lucas. So imagine my disappointment when what we got out of it was politics, Jedi tax collectors, and Jar Jar Binks. Yes, the pod racing was dope. Shout out to the dope Nintendo 64 game we got out of it. And the Darth Maul battle, that was fire. Respect to the King Ray Park. But there was way too much badly written palace intrigue. Flash forward a few years later to Attack of the Clones, and instead of course correcting, Lucas actually doubled down, giving us even more politics, a backdoor Boba Fett origin story that made me miss Jar Jar, and maybe the worst on-screen chemistry between two actors who are supposed to be falling in love. No disrespect to Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman because nobody could have pulled off that script they were given. By the time we got to Yoda breaking out the green lightsaber and having the most ridiculously awesome duel with Count Dooku, I was hoping someone would force push me out of the theater. These were not the Star Wars movies I was looking for. And then there was the ultimate insult. Revenge of the Sith. They did Mace Windu dirty, man. That's some bullshit right there. Yeah, it's the best of the trilogy. They mostly nailed the important beats they had to get through, like Anakin, Super Heel Turn, Order 66, yada, yada, yada. But until we get a Mace Windu Disney Plus show that shows him surviving Anakin's betrayal and living his best life on the Outer Rim, I'm never going to be over it. Which leads us to Obi-Wan, the new Disney Plus show that is already at the halfway mark. That's what happens when you drop 2 episodes of a 6-episode series on a Friday and release the 3rd the following Wednesday. No spoilers here, but I'm glad that the trailer did a Euro step to throw us off the direction that I thought we were going to. It also did something that I thought was impossible. Before the first episode began, we get a 4-minute recap of the prequels. And it was good. No filler, just highlights and some memes. Something about having the higher ground and whatnot. It made me do something I never imagined I would ever do. Go back and watch the prequel trilogy. Because I had to know. Was I just being a hating ass hater all this time, crapping on the prequels unnecessarily? Since those movies came out, Star Wars has put in the work with novels, comics, video games, and TV shows that add context and character work to the shallow bits Lucas left behind. Like Obi-Wan got busy in those Clone Wars, if you know what I'm saying. Anakin developed a personality in that time also. And maybe most importantly, those shows gave us a foundational piece in Ahsoka Tano. Clone Wars and Rebels are just as relevant to the prequel generation as those janky-ass Ewok TV movies and bootleg copies of the holiday special as they were to me. The recently concluded Star Wars Celebration fan event introduced new shows and media that caters to the prequel crowd. And they can't all be crazed fanboys who ruin it for the rest of us, right? So, after watching the prequel trilogy again, was I wrong and were those movies actually good? No, they're still not my Star Wars. However, I am less inclined to be a passionate, gatekeeping, hating ass hater. I still prefer the original trilogy to the prequel, and The Last Jedi is parsecs ahead of The Revenge of the Sith, but the political drama takes up less screen time than I remember. I blame bad writing and directing for the Padme-Anakin romance going sideways, and despite my annoyance with Jar Jar Binks, the character, the internet trolls have made me sympathetic to Ahmed Best, the actor who played Jar Jar. If the persistent rumor out there that Jar Jar could have actually been a big bad who was only faking his bumbling idiocy this whole time can still come to pass, I say do it. Oh, and before we go, a quick hard pass to the fans who are once again showing their ass and harassing a person of color for having the nerve to be on a Star Wars property. Again, John Boyega dealt with it, Kelly Marie Tran still has to hear it, and like I mentioned earlier, Ahmed Best got it real bad. This time, it's Moses Ingram who plays Reva, aka the third sister on Obi-Wan. You know the excuses, I'm not a racist, I just don't like the way she's written. It's a fair critique if that's how you truly feel. I just did a whole segment sharing my exasperation with Jar Jar, who was played by a black actor. But if the follow-up to your Reva hate is because she's black and black people can't be Inquisitors or Jedis or Stormtroopers or the coolest people in the galaxy, shout out to Billy D, maybe shut up. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you for watching Hard Pass. I am Jacques Slade. I'll see you next week. If you would like to possibly be featured in a future episode, call us at 818-493-9325. Leave a short message, your social media if you want. No more than 30 seconds. All right. I'll see you next week. Peace.